Well, everybody, we're gonna see how this goes. Say hi to the cat. You want? Hmm? Yes. Hmm? Go on, get out. Get down. Thank you. How's it going? So you're gonna see what's in the box. Sean, are you still watching? Would you type something in the chat? Okay. Um, could you do me a favor? Would you send me a link in my Facebook Messenger of the URL that you clicked on to get this stream? Because I'm going to show you a couple of things here while I'm waiting for people to show up. Oh, okay. I didn't get a notification. But in your web browser, it must show up, right? Great. Okay. All right. I was able to find it. Now I just need to go to the CR buy and sell group and change the link. Okay, 15 minutes. So I'm not sure how live it is in terms of like what I'm actually saying right now, how long it takes to get to you. But I do have a couple of cameras set up. Um, Yeah, here's one box, like, and it's pretty big. I can't even fit it all in the same. Like, that's how big it is. Can't even fit it all in the same thing. So turn that one off, turn this one on. This is another camera I've got. I mean, good uses of inexpensive Logitech cameras, and the picture quality is pretty good. Oh, okay. Then that's not going to work, really. Okay. Switch count. All right. Hi, cat. Yep, she's always interested in what's going on. Hmm? All right. Get out. Come on. Get down. Down. Well, I was looking for some text overlay and don't see any. Of course, um, 8 minutes to go. Uh, Sean, you can still hear me, and I've got the Lions masthead up on the screen. That's what you should be seeing, right? Well, that's a plus. Not many times in my life between that I have no lag. Okay. I'm still missing something. Still missing some stuff. Still missing some stuff. Thought I left it in my coat. Just missing one important piece of stuff. And hopefully I'll be able to find it quickly. There we are. Camouflage. Oh. Set an alarm for 7 p.m.
Your alarm is set for 7 p.m.
How far right of center is it? Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the kitchen knife. Where did you see that? I didn't think it was on camera. Well, I'm going to leave it. Oh, you didn't think it was that good? I thought it was okay. Hello, my friend in the Colony, Texas. And that bell means it is time to start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching, we're live, and I'm glad you're here. Although I don't think we have anybody watching outside of Eastern, Central, Mountain, or Pacific. So let me turn this off, and we'll get my charming face on here. I don't know if David Bleem is joining us tonight, but I want to thank David for recommending OBS, which is Open Broadcast Software. It's some sort of package that's used for broadcasting Facebook streams where you can have multiple inputs and decide them. And I wasn't able to get this set up so that I could use multiple inputs in the original live stream link that I posted on Computer Reset Buy and Sell, and then on the YouTube's channel page. So here we are, and if I do turn this on correctly, you should just see now the camera that I've got with this giant box that we're going to be opening up here in just a little bit of time. boy, a little bit bigger than I wanted. And spent spent a little bit more than I wanted, that was for sure. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, let's cut this open. Actually, one thing I want to do is for the people who aren't here, we are going to start recording so that we can push it up to the channel for viewing later. So we're going to do that. Wow. So this came to the frozen white north all the way from Elk Grove, California. In addition to, there's actually more than one thing in this box. And I realize that the camera's kind of too close, but I can't move it further back for you. But trying to give you some idea. So we've been waiting quite a while. And so you have got your video card in the other room. I'll have to go get it. But first we've got to get this open. It certainly is well packed. Wow. Super well packed. If I ever need to get shipped across the country, I'll know how to do it. And I believe no lights. Okay. So, let me kick it around. The first thing in the box is it's an IBM Model M keyboard, or part number 1391401. First I thought it didn't come with a cable, but it did. It came with the cable. Comes with a 5-pin DIN cable, which kind of pretty good. If this gives you any hint to what it's going to go in, knowing what the Model M keyboard is compatible with. So we'll set that aside for the time being. Let's keep unboxing. moving all the cardboard out of the way, we have got this giant yellow, or it's an orange bubble wrap package. So at least we've got a little bit more to unwrap. I thought there was supposed to be some floppy disks included, but we'll see once we get into more of it. Oh, that's where they put the discs. They taped them. They taped them in here. For those of you who have been following the channel, you probably already know what this is. This is the backplate cover for this particular system. Gonna hold my finger over the IBM badge. Does anybody want to take a stab in the dark at what it belongs to? Because we're very close now. Very, very close. So, also included was a box of discs. Of course, I have no idea. They're blank. What's on them? Let's find out. Okay. Of course, it looks like I'll have to boot these up. We've got some 3M double-sided high density. Close. Another two-sided high density. These are also high density. Oh. That's a 360K. Yep, 360K. Ooh, what do we have here? Someone made a copy of IBM. Oh, IBM PC Advanced Diagnostics. Okay, we'll put those back. All right. Put that over there. So my friends, if I can get that to focus. Probably not. Nope, I can't get it to focus. But you know what that says? That says IBM Personal Computer AT. Now I had a generic 286 in storage that I was going to use to test some software that was given to me, particularly some Xenix. Thank you again. But I really wanted to test it on the system that it was designed for, or at least IBM wanted it to be run on, and that was a 5170. But not sure what's exactly is inside this machine. I mean, I've got a good idea, because if we go ahead and spin it around, I mean, the back's in really good shape. It's got all of the Velcro for the back plate cover. I don't think the power supply's been replaced on here, but it looks a little bit different from the 5170 power supply that I remember. So let me grab my Craftsman, when Craftsman really was Craftsman, screwdriver, and we'll take the, actually, we'll take the cover off of this thing and look inside. Not quite. Just a little too big. A little too small. Maybe we need SAE measurement instead of metric. No? Too big. Still too big. Nope. Still too big. Quarter inch? Quarter inch. All right. Perfect. $51.70. So I really wish it would have been here tonight, but it's not going to be here until tomorrow. But Sergio, you will appreciate this. I just need to find my messages here. Eric Gibbons thankfully came through. I was able to buy from him the standing tower option for the AT so that you can legitimately stand the PC AT up like a full tower. That will be here tomorrow, but we'll have to wait for another time to do a video on that. There's a whole lot more that we'll need to do. I think we got all the screws, hopefully. All right. Wow. Couple of the whoops. So we've got, looks like an original IBM CGA card. To be honest, I was kind of hoping it was EGA, but hey, the fact I was able to find an AT. Um, Looks like here we've got, I'm not sure. Looks like a third party. Whoops. Looks like a third party board. We'll have to get the smaller screwdriver and take that out. And then we have, whoops. I'm hoping that this is the IBM controller card for this. I'm gonna have to take the cards out to get a better look at what is actually installed in here. Was hoping that the IBM BIOS was not replaced with like the American Megatrends, because according to a lot of the resources that are on -0 degrees, replacing the original IBM BIOS, particularly the revision 3, with either American Megatrends or Award is how you get around some problems with other things with the motherboard. Like, for example, if you do replace this, the hard drive controller card with a non-IBM card. So far, I'm very impressed. Super clean. I can't tell really right now if this is a revision 3 motherboard or not. Well, it's not focus. The camera's not focusing very well. But this system was manufactured in 1985. If I can, August 1985. Something COD IND Florida. Whoops, Florida division. So, but let me. We'll go through. We'll take all the cards out. Whoops. Wow. Okay. Time for the flathead driver. Oops. Looks like the screw was taken out already for the hard drive controller. Oops. Boy, those cables were jammed in there pretty good. I really can't tell if this is the original IBM controller or not. It looks like it, but couldn't be. It won't be 100% until we actually get this booted up. There is one thing I did notice that I'm very excited about, is that this machine has a 6 megahertz 80287 math coprocessor. And yes, that was the original design, was to hold the backplate cover on with the Velcro strips. I was like, I'll, Velcro in all the right places. Probably because they felt it. No, there's no screws. Probably because they felt it was easier to take off. There wasn't anything to lose that way. Because look, I mean, there's no standoffs. There's no screw holes. It was just all Velcro. Depending on the three versions of the motherboard, you could have it with 256 or 512. And actually, well, the our mascot cats, the small cats, not the big one. That's kind of like my spirit animal. There were three revisions of the 50. Like I said, there was three revisions of the 5170 motherboard, and motherboard versions. Oh, right. Okay. So, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. The Type 1 and Type 2 had a 6 megahertz 286 processor, and it looked like I was incorrect in stating to you that the motherboard came with either two banks of 256 or one bank of 512 for the 6 megahertz models, and just one bank of 512 for the for the 6 megahertz models. You had two banks of 256 for the Type 1, one bank of 512 for the 6 megahertz Type 2, or one bank of 512 for the 8 megahertz Type 3. And I am kind of puzzled about this, because you're only supposed to put in, let me see if I can put this photo up on the screen. No, can't do that? Okay. Let me just capture the picture for you. Oops. Save image to downloads. All right. Okay. Let me get the image on here. Browse. Okay. So, okay. You should now see this is a Type 3 motherboard. And it's supposed to have an 8 megahertz CPU. And if you had an 8 megahertz CPU, you were supposed to have an 8 megahertz coprocessor. 6 megahertz CPU, you're supposed to have a 6 megahertz coprocessor. So I can't take a look at the 286 in here yet. I've got to get one of the other cards out of the way, and then we'll be able to take a better look at it. So to get back to your question, Sergio, it's 512K, although A lot of them came with an additional 128K expansion card that chewed up a whole 8 or 16-bit slot to give you the 640. All right. So, I'm going to look at this multi-function card. Does not look to be like an IBM card, but apparently gives us 2 serial. Whoops. Looks like it gives us 1 parallel and 2 serial ports. Why would you need any more than that? And yes, score for the 287. I mean, that's almost worth the price of admission. Wow, that's a tight fit. Okay. Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you what. This is pretty cool. It looks like we have scored an AST advantage. I'm going to have to look up because I really don't remember anymore exactly what this card gave you. Then some RAM expansion, which this thing is not fully populated yet. And I'm not sure what U73 gives you and U74 do, because one's unpopulated. There is another header on J4. I suppose that could give you something else. Maybe the game port? I'm speculating without the documentation. Oh yeah, super fast AutoCAD. You want to know what would make that AutoCAD even faster? If we would have had a professional graphics controller and PGC display that was in the unicorn room at a computer reset, which I think what happened was absolutely terrible, and hopefully they catch whomever and whoever it was. So now that I've got a better look at, it looks like it's a Siemens 286 dash, whoops, sorry. It looks like it's a Siemens 286, wow, I can't get you any close, 286-A. Well, going to need different cameras for the future, considering this is the trial run of the live live broadcast. Yeah, so that's a Siemens manufactured 286-A. Oh, so that's right. If the 287 runs half the bus speed, huh? I wonder really how fast this is, if this is a 12 megahertz. I will say we'll not be able to get this fired up tonight, even if I put the VGA card in it, because I do not have everything I need for the VGA display. But considering you are some of my most faithful watchers, I will tell you that I was able to procure at an ungodly expense a 5154 monitor, the enhanced color display. But I actually have to send that to a refurbisher in Texas because it needs to be recapped. And that's what you get when you don't pay attention to the ad. So yes, anyway, super pumped about that. So we've got, I hope, is a Western Digital Drive controller. We've got the AST Advantage card with, I'm guessing maybe it has 128K. Whoops. That it's got 128K on here. And then we've got the color graphics adapter. I mean, yep, color graphics. Nah. An IBM EGA card would have been great, but hey, the fact that we were able to save this, or I was able to get a hold of it so that we can start unwrapping the software that requires a 286, but I'm sure it'll look just fine on VGA as it would EGA. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get some of the stuff back in here. Oops. There we go. The card edge brackets are always a pain when they pop out. All right. Yep, I ended up knocking a label off of this thing. It says ADV 128 made in Hong Kong by AST Research FE Limited. Of course, back then. I really want to boot. Sean, it depends, especially now that war has broken out, and who knows what a flight's going to be anywhere in a month and a half. But like as Sergiu's mentioned, hey, welcome Penguin Cave. This is a 5170, otherwise known as the IBM Personal Computer AT. Well, what about the stuff? Sergiu might know more about what's going to happen to that. There is some plan in the works. I'm not entirely sure. I do know that a computer store, nonprofit organization called Free Geek Twin Cities in Minneapolis, St. Paul, took the rest of the desktops and laptops. So all the actual CPUs themselves are gone. They are gone. So while I've got a very small captive audience, I have started a Patreon. We've got 3 tiers. Kind of kept them small, not as low as some other retro computer YouTubers, but we've got $3, $4, and $5, and kind of like Dave Palmer, who does the the kind of a Microsoft retro channel. I'm kind of in it really for the subs and the likes. This is, I think, I started YouTubing too late to make a full-time job out of it, which is okay too. But really the idea behind doing the Patreon is to kind of help offset Oh wow. I didn't realize I could get more RAM. I'll have to look into that. So in 2011 I had another IBM AT like this. And I had a third-party RAM card that had 16 megs of RAM in it. So it was like the maximum. And unfortunately, life circumstances forced me to sell it along with another enhanced color display and EGA graphics card that was in it. All IBM stuff. Well, with the exception of the RAM expansion card. That was the only thing that wasn't IBM in that baby. And I've got this one screw here. I'm trying to get this mounting screw back in, and it doesn't want to cooperate. And does anybody notice when they're working on your vintage you're working on your vintage stuff that it's got a particular smell to it? I mean, not necessarily offensive, but I don't know. I kind of like it. And well, Sergio, are you still able to grab more software? Did that plan change, or is it kind of like whoever stole the crown jewels? Thank you. Yes, Sean, it's Dave. Dave Plummer. That's it. Dave Plummer. Dave's Garage. Okay. All right. The disc controller card did not have a mounting screw, which is okay. I do want to find a power cord, but I don't have an extension cord. I think that's going to be long enough. So what I will try to do is I've got a battery backup unit with a really long cord. That should give me enough to hopefully plug this in, turn it on. Will not be able, like I said, Penguin, if you're still watching, I don't have a CGA monitor here. Sergio did send me a VGA card, and I do have a VGA LCD panel to hook this up, so the next time we can break this out, we'll be able to, get a boot screen. I mean, I really want to know if whoops. Sorry, let's get it spun around. I think we've got the 20 meg full height hard disk, and then we've got a 5 1/4 inch high density, and then a 3.5 inch. I'm assuming it's high density. I'm not going to take the drives out. Thoughts. I am always conscious about parking hard drive heads. If I boot this up, I will not have the, will not be able to see the option. Oh, yeah, Sergio, you are a god. Yeah, I'll have to move this into the, other room. But what do you think? Should I risk powering it on if I'm not able to hook it up to a screen? And because I'm not even sure where my RCA cables are. Oh, thank you very, very much, Penguin, for that. I've just, really haven't spent as much time doing the channel as I want. And when you look, at like the slow evolution of how like LGR has evolved over the years, but he started years ago. Yes, I know. I know I have RCA on the CGA card, but I'm not sure if I have the cable that I can run from it to the TV. I'm going to go look in a couple of minutes to see what I've got, because I've got some of the old RCA Selectavision video disc players. That's also one of the other types of. Um, the channel's real name isn't Unwrapped, it's Legacy Media and Computers, but the majority of the episodes that we did at the beginning were unwrapping things that Sergio sent me that they bought from him from Computer Reset. And then if you watched maybe 6 or so episodes ago, um, all the stuff that we're going to be unwrapping, but going to be covering a lot of things. Sean, I've got another Star Trek game coming. Star Trek: The Promethean Prophecy, which is, I think it's a text-based Star Trek adventure game that we are going to be unwrapping in a future episode. It's supposed to be here in a couple of days, so um, bear with me, bear with me. So I'm just going to set our camera pointing down at whoops. Or actually, maybe I'll just point it there. Yep. Yes, they would. If anybody needs to take a bathroom break, now's the time. I'm going to go look for that VGA card. I've got it in the office someplace. We'll put that in. We'll figure we might as well, we're here. We'll do it. And then we'll figure out on getting this booted up. You got your shoes on, do you, Crumb? I didn't think so. Okay. So this is the video card that Sergio sent me. This came out of Computer Reset, and I was kind of hoping that this piece alone, along with the fact that we're going to be unwrapping and showing so much of Computer Reset software with this AT, that I could have posted in the liquidation channel, but that's okay. That is perfectly all right. So let's go ahead and get this installed. Okay, that VGA card is now installed in slot 7. And before I I'm not going to say throw my hands up in the air, I do have a 4x3 LCD panel. It's a Dell Ultra Sharp, and some of the Ultra Sharps do have composite input in them. So if that's the case, that will be good. Or, and this is the critical piece that I'm missing, is the VGA cord. The 15 pin 15-pin D-sub connector. So, stay tuned, grab a snack. Just getting a couple of more things together. Well, I'm gonna show you the train wreck that is my home office before we adjourn for the evening. I've got my I've got a extension cord wheel. Love these things. They're only like $16 or $17 at Walmart. The only drawback is they only have uh, four receptacles in them. So unless you use like another power strip with them. Okay. Oh boy. We are going to turn this on. The power strip or the extension cord wheel is right in front of me. Go ahead. Who wants to give me the thumbs up to press the red button? I'm going to wait for one of you to tell me to. No? Well, okay. Sean said no. Does anybody even want me to turn this thing on? Yeah, that's true. Only I can prevent electrical fires. Okay. Well, hey, it didn't let out the magic smoke. The hard drive is spinning. Hopefully, you can hear it. And I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful sound. A very beautiful sound. I mean, whoops, hold on just a second. Okay. No, I wasn't. I did not appear to be getting them with a delay. It's just that the bottom couple of messages were truncated. So yes. Now, no, no. Eau de Rifa fragrance. knock, knock on wood. I've never had that happen. I have never had a Rifa filter explode. I did, however, many moons ago when I was working on an Apple II computer. The ribbon cables did have a red line to indicate what pin 1 was, but on the controller card that went into the Apple, pin 1 wasn't indicated on the card. Like, you had to look at the instructions um, to do it. So I made the mistake of plugging the ribbon cable onto the card backwards. And needless to say, when I powered on that Apple II, that disk drive let out a scream, pop, and out came the magic smoke. The Rifa filter is either on the motherboard or it's in a power supply, and it filters like line spikes, and it might not even be line spikes, but there was a giant one because Sean and I grew up together, or at least our later teenage years. He had one of the first, or where he was living, had one of the first solar energy installations, and it was kind of like the what kept the electricity as clean and nice as possible is at least how I would describe a Rifa filter. I just need to run out to the car really quick. I want to grab that ultra sharp display, and that's what I was looking for. Electrical noise keeps the electrical noise out. See if you grab that ultra sharp display. See if it's got composite in, and well, if it doesn't, we'll figure out about getting this moved somewhere closer to the big screen TV. I will say one thing though, I've got a 65-inch Sony Bravia in the main living room that does not like legacy equipment at all. My RCA video disc player, trying to get it to play on that was a train wreck. Penguin K, while we're waiting, tell us about your retro computing experience. What were some of the pieces that you cut your teeth on? Essentially, for me, it was Commodore 64, and then got quickly replaced by a Smith Corona word processor. But a couple of teachers, where I was going to high school, gave me the Zenith 286 that belonged to, her late brother, his late brother in law, and that's really what got me into it. And I just lost the chat, but don't worry, I'll get it back. Somehow. Yes, new TVs suck. They certainly do suck. Well, the bad news is it's a 17-inch Dell Ultra Sharp, and it does not have a composite input. So I guess what we'll do is we'll power it down. We'll bring it into the other room, and we'll try. Almost 40-year-old PCAT on couple-year-old 65-inch Sony. Alright, so we're going to power this down and hopefully it will come back to life. But I need to move it into the other space where we're going to hopefully bring it back to life. Well, see what it's like when it's brought back to life. Really close. We are really, really close. We are really, really close. Yeah, if I had a studio number, it would be 4F. For sure. That's okay. That is quite alright. Let me... No? Oh, it's looking at my trackpad. Okay. Let's try this one. Alright. So this is a very big Sony TV with the torch-year light reflecting in it. We've got our Model M keyboard. Just gonna set that on top of the PCAT. It's got its cover off. Gonna plug in here. The keyboard that was sent with this, I don't think it's gonna work because is it a Model F? There were several versions of the Model F, and I don't think that this M, is compatible with, signal compatible with what the AT came with. And really, okay. Like I'm looking at this thing in the back, and like I can't plug the keyboard in, and I'm like, why not? Like, I'm gonna cry if there's something wrong with the keyboard port. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, it doesn't appear to be bent or broken pins or. There we go. Anything like that. All right. I do apologize. The message has disappeared. The chat. Yes, Bluetooth mic would be better. I'll add that to the Patreon wish list. Okay, so we've got Model M keyboard plugged in. Need to get the TV turned on. Whoops. Oh boy. Whoops. I'm trying. The chat is taking up the full screen, and I don't want it to because I need to need it to come back. So, okay, let's change the input, and then plug in the AT and hope for the best. Although my PlayStation 5 is going to assume control of the television now. Yes, I was lucky enough to get one. All right. Let's change it back to input. And then let's power. For whatever reason, it does not seem to like the composite out. I don't know if that's solely the television, although I got a bad feeling they don't have this plugged into the TV properly anyway. So let's slide this out of here. No, I don't. Again, no wonder it's not coming up. You gotta have it. Gotta have the cabling plugged in right. So, please excuse my backside. This is what I'm looking for. No, it's not. Nope, that's actually not going to work for me. Need to find another RCA cord. See what I can come up with. I know I've got one someplace. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Got a lifetime supply of cables. I know we've got one around here. Well, this is kind of really disappointing. Like, I know I've got one. Had one to keep the video disc player hooked up to hooked up. So it is around. It is around. Guess we're kind of at a standstill until I can find the one of a great number of RCA cables, which I knew we had here. And now can't seem to find any. Just one or two more places I can look, that I'm gonna look, just to make sure that no rock is left unturned. Oops. Don't know who that was. Bring the chats back up. Okay. So I'm still looking for a composite RCA core. Really, that's the only thing that's kind of holding us up to see whether or not the AT is outputting signal. So I'm glad you're still here, watching. And if you're watching, no, they're around here somewhere. Only got them. You're going to be able to find them. They must be hiding. Hiding really, really well. Really. Well, fans, it looks like I have exhausted all the possibilities of finding where it could be. And if, Sean, if you've got a good idea, let me know. But yeah, dissecting the office right now to find them would be such a time intensive process. Um, I can't even imagine. Um, Let me docs reset UI. Okay. Let me turn this around. Whoops. So yes, it's running. There's no magic smoke. It sounds healthy. Sounds happy. It's just I have no idea where my RCA video composite cables are. So when I don't have my VGA cord either, so we can't hook it up to VGA. We might be able to pick that up later. Let me see here. Docs, if I'm going to reopen up the chat. Sean, I can't take the call and do the stream. So, well, okay. So anyway, it looks like it's just the two of us. It says I am going to conclude the stream this evening. It says I will post another video when we've got this thing going. Thanks for watching, and we'll unwrap and get some more legacy media and computers going very soon. Have a good night. Godspeed.